Welcome all. So, today, in continuation to the series of What's New in 2021 Release Wave 2, we'll talk about two important changes which are related to performance. And if you haven't heard about partial records in Business Central, go ahead and watch some of the Business Central BC Open discussion recordings which are available on the YouTube channel. That's a cool feature which was released in I guess two releases before it, which is somewhere around 16, Business Central 16, and that tries to solve the problem of performance when there are table extensions in place, and not just table extension but in general. So in Business Central 19, Microsoft introduced partial records in the list pages and also on the lookup pages when you use them on table relation. So maybe with today's demo, you'll get an idea about partial records, and then I'm pretty sure you'll explore more about it. And let me know in comments if you have questions around it. I can redirect you to the video. Or maybe I'll also add the link as the first comment of this video, which talks about partial record demo. So first, let's understand what Microsoft says about it. So both of them are under service and platform, and both of them are one after the other. But it's one and the same thing, which is the list page will now load faster, and we'll understand why that is. And the Business Central service now uses performance feature partial records on the list pages in Business Central. This means the server will read only those fields which are added into the page design rather than reading all the fields from the database. Now, this performance improvement will depend on following condition: how much data exists in the table, and how many table extension exists that reference to the lookup table or to the same table. And the similar kind of detail are available on the table reference lookup, which is the table reference lookup will be more faster based on the same condition. So let's quickly go into a demo and try to understand how partial record helps while they are being available on the list pages, and why it will impact the performance of reading that data. So what I've done for the demo is I have created a page, and the page is called as SDH customer list, which is a customer list page with just three fields: the number field, the name field, and the location code field. And then just to show you how it impacts the performance, I have added a debugger point on after get record. So let's publish this and let's see what happens when we do a partial record fetch. So when I try to publish it, this will get published on my Business Central 18 right now. So we are seeing the demo right now on Business Central 18, and then we'll plug it to Business Central 19 and see how that is different from Business Central 18. So when I try to load this page here in Business Central 18, SDH customers, will come back and show me the debugger. The record is loaded. Now, if you don't know about it, the debugger now have more capabilities that can show you the SQL queries. So if you come here now and see the last SQL query, which we cannot read here, so what I can do is I can type it in here and then see the value of it, the complete value, which we cannot see here. So what I'll do is I'll copy all and I'll add a file, demo.sql, and I'll paste in whatever is copied on the clipboard. I'll remove all the non-required messages, and I'll stop the debugger and I'll just keep the query. So now remember that what we use is a page of customer, which is this. We just had three fields: number, name, and location. Now when we try to put a debugger at on after get record, what happened is this query that went to SQL Server is to fetch every field from table 18, and table 18 is the table number for customer. All the fields from the table are being selected to show the record on the page, which just have three fields as a part of the page. And I'm interested at the end, so let me go to the end of this. Okay, so somewhere here, let's put an enter sign. So as you have already seen, that is already picking everything from the table. It's also picking a field E1, 18E1, which is based on an extension which is deployed on the customer table. So there is a table extension to the customer table which have just one field called order taken by. So that is also being fetched when I'm trying to read or load the data into that customer list page. And that also creates a join. So as you can see, this query will surely take some time to read that data from Business Central. But now let's see what happens if I change my launch.json and try to point it out to BC190. So when I try to publish it on BC90, it'll go into BC190 sandbox that I have, and we'll see the same, we'll run the same page, and we'll see what queries are generated when we try to load the same page now. So if I now try to do my SDH customer list, I'll come back to my debugger, and if I go to debugger, I should be able to see my SQL query at SQL9, and I can follow the same rule, fetch it here, copy all, go back to demo.sql, stop this, and then after a line, I'll paste the Business Central 19 query. So now if you see the Business Central 19, because it's using the partial record, it will load a set of fields instead of all the fields. So let me show you that here, here, and here. Plus these are system audit field, they will always be fetched, and then a from and order by. So now if you see, instead of loading all the fields, which is it was doing on Business Central 18, now the system is only trying to read the fields which are on the page, like number, name, and location. Sorry, number, name, and location, if I'm not wrong. Okay, paste it. Okay, number, name, and location. The timestamp is the SQL field, which will be fetched every time. Then the fields that are added in the page design, and then a subset of field which may be required to calculate the values of these fields. But there's no defined pattern of why and which fields are being selected. But at the end, the system fields will be loaded. And the major thing to look at it here is that it didn't create a join to the table extension, because the field of that table extension was not part of the page. So assume a scenario where one of your table, which is used on a list page, have 10 extension. And as we all know, that we don't control how many extension a table can have. As in, you can define one table extension for your extension, but then a customer can be using 5 different extension, or maybe an ISV extension, which is also extending the same table. In those situations, till Business Central 18, it will create 5 joins or 10 joins based on number of table extension. While in Business Central 19, because of the partial record implementation, it will only do the join if the field from the extension is part of the page design. The similar behavior is available on the lookup pages, that it will only load the subset of the fields, which includes for sure, which includes the primary key, the fields on the page, and the system audit fields. And then there is a subset of other fields which will be loaded when the partial records are being implemented in the page design. So this will drastically improve the performance of all the list and the lookup pages, but it's not all. The partial record is more powerful and it can be used as a best practice while you are coding um, in AL. So do watch the recording that is tagged on the first comment of this video and understand more about partial record to make your code more performance optimized. I'll see you tomorrow with the next tip. Till then, have a great day and goodbye.